It does my heart good to see you here. Thank you for honoring us with your presence tonight and for sending a message to my brothers and sisters in the LGBT community, for my brothers and sisters who identify as gay, for my brothers and sisters who experience same-sex attraction, who would tell you they indeed struggle with same-sex attraction and they sit in silence. Thank you for them because they're watching. They're listening on social media and they're getting the message. You mean, Sally, that people are coming to your church, the church where you go? Do they really know what you're going to be talking about? Yes. Yes. And you've responded. You've answered that call of concern and interest, love for our brothers and sisters.
I know preachers who can't tell anybody at church, cannot tell their elders that their son or daughter is gay because they feel they will be shamed.
When the church is in a position where it stands between God and the people God loves, which is everybody, then the church becomes disconnected from God.
I do want to say this, though there are multiple issues that we don't talk about, I think the importance of this conversation is heightened by the reality that most of the other things we don't talk about, our teens aren't committing suicide over. That the many issues out there that we have a hard time talking about, this is one where our kids are more likely, if they identify as gay, to commit suicide. And I think that should ratchet up our radar to say, perhaps we should talk about this.
And so I think it's a very complex issue, but it's for some a life and death issue. And to ignore that it's occurring, to ignore that we have friends and family members and loved ones and people that sit next to us and behind us in our pews at church, and to think that they're not struggling with these things, whether it's them individually or someone in their family. We're really just burying our heads in the sand and causing them to suffer in silence.
Christians kind of reach different, and in this conversation, people connect the dots in a different way, like we're aware of that. But then there's another perspective that says, well, there shouldn't be. If we just worked really hard and we were really honest, that it would produce a consensus. And so that if we're not producing a consensus, my conversation partner is being dishonest. Does that make sense? Like, the only reason you can't blame the Bible, so the only person you can blame is the conversation partner. That if they were just honest and saw it the way I saw it, and that's a really toxic assumption that I think drives this what goes on, because the only way we can explain disagreement is depravity.
Whatever the language is, our churches, whatever the sense you pick up when you walk in, that has trickle-down formation for everyone in that church. There was some research done about why young people 18 to 33 were leaving the church of their youth. And what they found is a full 31% of kids leaving churches had to do with either negative speech or negative treatment of LGBT people. So just in case if you have no other motivation besides keeping your pews filled, and we've got to do better.
I just want to say that my hope and my prayer is that no one will leave this conference without hope. We live in a time and a culture that is so pessimistic about so many things. And we are surrounded by people who have placed undue amounts of hope in personalities and systems that are destined to disappoint. And again, my hope and my prayer is that you leave this place feeling more optimistic about the state of the church, more optimistic about the growth of God's kingdom, more optimistic about the world and your place in it.